Hey, hi, hello again. It's me, Amy the Baker, back with another video. The video that marks a year of posting. Is that funny? I don't want to do this right now. This is the last thing I want to do, if I'm being honest with you guys, but I have to do it. It's Friday. I need time to edit, and it's a year. This is the last time I need to push myself to make a video, and then if I don't want to, whatever, I can skip a week. I was inspired by last week's Snicker Swirl cookies. So today I'm gonna just use my chocolate chip cookie, which was actually, I believe, the first recipe I ever did on this channel. Of the new videos anyways. But I'm gonna use that recipe, turn it into a double chocolate cookie, and then roll it with peanut butter. Should be good. These are hard. Still usable. If you have really hard brown sugar, what you can do is take a piece of paper towel, get it wet, wring it out as much as you can, and then just put it over top, and within like half an hour it'll start softening. Yeah, it's a good trick, especially if you need it right away. I still feel sick. It's more nasally now. Haha, your mummy is so silly. Hi. Also, don't ask me what this fit is. I feel like I look like a dad. The last 2 days have been a year, actually. So I'm kind of exhausted and I didn't have time to think. And I was like, I need to just film this because I have other crap to do today. Raisins are such an unexpected snack for him to love, but they're literally his favorite thing. I also totally meant to do this while he napped, and instead I napped with him. So I'm a bit like nap hazy. The reason the last couple of days has been a year in the way that it's felt is because our new cat Buttons got stuck up in the drop ceiling, I guess down there in the basement. Which is just stressful as it is. And he was up there for like 3 days. And I'm at this point, I'm like, he's gonna die up there. But yesterday morning, I went down there just so I could see like whereabouts he was, because our house is large. Butter hands. And so I go down there and he's in such an inaccessible spot. I'm in the furnace room and I'm looking with my phone. That's why I was doing that. He's like all the way back there in such an inaccessible spot. So then I'm just stressed out. But while I'm in there, I smell gas. That's good. So of course that became priority number one. Bonk. I'm gonna move it back so you can't put your raisins in there. Also, no one get mad at me. These are very soft, like very soft raisins. No! They're like small batch, I think. Anyways, they're made in Canada, which is cool. If they were regular raisins that are quite hard, I would soak them first, but these ones are quite soft. So they're not as big of a choking hazard. Plus, he's pretty good about it. Where was I? So I called an HVAC company to come in. It didn't smell super strongly. I only noticed it when I was in there, so maybe it's just coming off the furnace or what, I don't know. Turned it off the furnace and everything, called them to come in. And then that was a whole hassle. They went to the wrong house. It was a whole thing. Got it figured out. They came by. But before they had come by, I had noticed on the floor there was like a little bit of water near the hot water heater. And I'm like, great.
I love everything that's happening.
The guy comes, he's checking everything out, and then he comes up and he's like, I think I found the problem. Cool, show me. So I go down there with him and Bubba, and he's like, so I checked everything out. There's no leaking of the gas itself, and I adjusted everything that was slightly off, but everything was still within like the margin of error that you'd expect. So I don't think it's a gas leak, but I'm gonna do slightly less flour because I'm gonna do maybe like a half cup of cocoa. I want them to be chocolatey. And he's like, so while I was looking at everything, your hot water heater kicked in, and it took like 4 seconds for the gas to actually ignite. So I think that's what the gas smell is. And our hot water heater, it was a 6-year warranty heater on year 15. We were living on borrowed time, and even when I was down there, I noticed the side of it was like bulging. Oh, lovely. I am gonna add cinnamon, even though it's chocolate. I love cinnamon. And I forgot that one time, so we're adding it this time in memory. He was like, I obviously can't replace it today. I can take apart the pan and just kind of see what's going on. I'm like, sure, do that. I go back upstairs and leave him to it. He takes it apart and he comes up and he's like, see this? He's holding the pan. He's like, this is pieces of your water heater. And see this? This is hard water buildup from where water's dripped down and immediately evaporated. Okay, cool. So I need a new water heater. He figured out how to climb up here himself, which is good, but also mildly annoying. Because he'll just go into the kitchen and climb up in it, and then I'm like running after him. Anyway, so he was calling around, getting all things sorted, because I wanted a 50-gallon, but they didn't have any in town, and so I'd have to wait until like next week, Monday or Tuesday, which is 4 days from now, 4 days from yesterday. Anyways, too long to go with, oh goodness, this had jumped out. Get back in there. Plus the one that we were using was a 40-gallon and it was working fine for us. The only thing that was annoying was if I ever tried to have a bath. I just want to clear the area. Okay, ready. We went with a 40-gallon tank so we could have it today. Water. Water, yeah. He's learning new words every day, I swear. And this morning he said his first 3-syllable word. It was potato. Oh, the guy yesterday turned off the hot water, obviously, but he turned off all the gas, so we didn't have a furnace last night, which was so lovely. I had the heater in the room with Bubba, but after we got up in the morning, it was quite chilly.
Mama needs a bowling pin.
I went over to my mom's last night because Leon needed a bath. Whatever, that was fine. Came back home, got him to bed, and then I spent 45 minutes to an hour getting buttons down, finally, from in the drop ceiling that he has been stuck in. Going to have to be very delicate rolling this because it is not as pliable as last time. We got buttons down. Yeah, we did. And then I got Nathan to put the panels back in. All was well in the world, and there was such a huge weight lifted off me because I was so stressed about this. And then we get him back upstairs, he eats a bit, and he runs back downstairs. But whatever, we think we have everything closed off, except for a couple of ones. And I told Nathan, can you close them off? Just like use cardboard or something. He's like, well, aren't there panels down there? And I was like, I don't know. You're the one who helped the guy tear them down because they were torn down to fix a different thing in the house, whatever. I go to bed, I text him, I'm like, hey, if you see buttons on your way back upstairs, can you just grab him and put him in the room and shut the door? I get up this morning and Nathan isn't in the room. He fell asleep downstairs. I go down there, buttons had run by my feet, so I'm like, okay, at least he didn't like get back up somehow. But it was like 6 in the morning. It was freezing. I was tired. I had a long night. He kept waking up crying. So I just went back upstairs. After a while, I heard crashing and I'm like, if Buttons is back up in the ceiling, I'm going to be so upset. Nathan's like, no, he can't. He's not. Well, did you seal off those things like I asked? No, but he can't get up there. And then we hear another crash that sounds like he's in the floor. And I'm like, can you just go down there and check? Lo and behold, he's back in the drop ceiling. And it was minutes before these guys are coming back to do the water heater. Nathan and I got into a fight, and then I was crying, so I just went to my mom's. That's why these last few days have felt like a year. Okay, Vlogmas. The flour will definitely not bake off or away, so I am just trying to use a bit of a damp paper towel to get it off.
You are covered in flour, and it is all full of spot.
I'm just so sad. And that's why I didn't want to film this, but I am no failure, and I will get this done, get this edited, and post it so I can say I successfully posted a video a week for a year, which is a cool accomplishment, I think.
Ooh.
I'm gonna split this into 12. Whoa. So funny, I'm making these, and I'm definitely bringing some over to my parents. The other day, my dad, I was chatting with him. The swirl is definitely not as prominent on these ones, sorry. I was getting in my car and then he comes up and he's like, you need to make me baking with less sugar. Or you could just eat less. Well, I gotta get my sugar down. My mom had told me if he doesn't get his sugar down, he has to go on another medication, and that's why. I'm not your slave. You simply don't have to eat the things that I make. I'm totally willing to make him separate stuff. I'm not being a brat about it. Just the way that he asked is like, this stuff I'm doing is extra, okay? It's not an expectation. Anyways, I'm gonna get these in the oven, clean up a bit, da-da-da. But don't you worry, don't you fret, this video is not over yet. I, Amy the Baker, will be back for a taste test right now. I'm back and I have a cookie. They turned out pretty good. It's Monday and I did the baking on Friday. They're still surprisingly very soft for being 3 days old, but a little crumbly. And you definitely need some milk with them because they are thick. I wanted them to be really chocolatey. They're borderline too chocolatey. I usually only do about 1/4 cup to 1/3 of a cup of cocoa, and I did 1/2 cup. So I think that is too much. 1/3 of a cup of cocoa would be perfect. But they turned out phenomenal. You can't really see the swirl, just a little bit. It would be really good if I did some sort of peanut butter drizzle on top, but then obviously they're harder to store. So if I was doing that, it would be like for an event type thing. Cookies and milk, winning combination. We got our cat down, thankfully. Saturday night, I had went down there and he had come over to me, but he wasn't quite hungry enough to be fully lured where I could grab him with food. But Nathan had come home. He's tall enough and strong enough to just grab him by the scruff and like pull him down and wrestle with him. And I'm not tall enough or strong enough or brave enough to do that because I don't want to get scratched. But he's down. He is banished to the room for a few days. We've mostly covered up all the holes downstairs, but there's a few panels out of the one room because I found mold.
So lovely, so lovely.
It does appear to be isolated into that one spot. It also looks very dried out, so I don't even know if it's active and alive mold. I will treat it. It'll be like a 3-day treatment. I did look all around and I didn't see any other mold. Most of the other sort of white spots, not spots, they look like drips that I found, I'm assuming were mud from when the house was being built, because I also found shoe prints on the underside of the floor, which is obviously impossible. So they're from when the house was being built. Yeah, one thing after another. Now that we're all caught up, I can finally talk about what I actually wanted to talk about for the 1-year video on this channel. So funny, in the last like 2 minutes, we're gonna address it. So thick. Thick with 3 C's and all caps. I did it. We made it a year. Weekly posting. That's something that I'm super proud of. Even if the videos aren't of the highest quality, it's still like a creative endeavor that I stayed consistent with for a year, which is huge, and I'm so proud of that. But now that we're here at the end, I'm kind of wrestling with, do I just want to continue posting these videos that have not much substance to them? Well, I know what I want to do. I want to pursue the cookie cookbook, and I just can't seem to find the energy or the will to do it. Part of that is just this overwhelming fear of failure, the daunting task of how much work it will actually be to be what I want it to be. And what if I do it and it's not good? The other option for the channel is kind of take it in a more vlog-ish style direction, where I bring you guys along on daily cooking things that I do just around the house, because I mean, I'm cooking all the time, every day. That's what happens when you have a kid. So that's an option, but I feel like it's been done. It's been done. And I don't know if I have the personality to do so. Something like that, something that's very personality driven, I'm kind of boring. I feel like I need some sort of goal, some sort of project that I can build with the people who are watching. Which is why the cookie cookbook would be so good, but I'm just so exhausted all the time and I don't know how to not be exhausted. I don't know. Neurodivergence in parenting is not an easy task. And obviously the parenting is my top priority. Being present for my son as much as I can possibly be. This is kind of a side project and I do like doing it, but I'm not as important as he is. And now that I say it out loud, it's like, well, obviously that's not true, but it kind of is at this point. He's a baby. Definitely a cookie you need milk for. I also am debating if I want to tell the people in my life. I do, but I'm scared. I'm such a chicken. Anyways, that's going to conclude the rant and ramble session at the end of the video here. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you like the video. Comment down below what kind of swirl you'd like to see in a cookie. Subscribe if you haven't done that already, and I'll be seeing you guys again in the next one. Peace. I'm overwhelmed.